Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to understand the Leetcode problem number 1665. The question is saying that minimum energy to finish task. So what the question is saying that we have given an array task, you can see here, right? And it is saying that it is having that combination of uh, actual and minimum energy, right? At each element of the task. So let's suppose at index 0, 1 and 2, we have three elements we have. So at index 0, let's suppose we have 1 and 2. Means pair of two elements we have. So this is your actual and this is your minimum, right? So it is saying that actual is the actual amount where you spend to finish the task I. So if I want to finish the task 0, right, I have to use these actual energy to finish the task. Okay, then it is saying that we have minimum, means we are talking about this one, the minimum amount of energy you require to begin the task. Means to begin this task, right, itself, you should have actual energies 2. If 2 is not there, you cannot finish this task. So as a kind of the thing is, you have minimum energy is 1, but to start this problem itself, right, you should have the energy 2. I hope you understand, right? So give me a second, let me clean. So we can say that each task that we have, each task having टू पेयर, एक एक्चुअल है और दूसरा क्या है, मिनिमम है, राइट? टू थिंग्स वी हैव, एक्चुअल एंड मिनिमम. Means to begin the task, right, let's suppose this is task 1, you should need at least the minimum amount of the energy to start the time and start this task. Let's suppose this is we have 2 and this is we have 5. Okay, there is one pair we have, let's suppose 2 and 5. So to begin this task, let's give this name task T, right? To complete this task, right, you must have at least energy 5 before starting this task, right? So after finishing, you will lose energy 2. Okay, it means, imagine you start with some energy, right? Let's suppose call 5, and the task, every task has an entry ticket, the minimum amount, this one. So your cost is how much? So your cost will become how much, right? The minimum energy starting all the task you can complete it, right? Let's suppose we call 5 minus 2, the remaining is what? Remaining is 3. So we can say now your leftover task is 3, right? Let me give you one more example. So let's suppose for this case, right, we have 1 2 2 4 and 4 8, right? Let's give the name that index 0 1 and 2, like this. We have A, B and C. So these are our task. Okay, now we need some energy before starting this task, right? Means ABC. So I'll give need energy to start. To start. How much need to start to energy? Let's suppose the very first is 0, 1 and 2, means we need energy 2. For this task we need 4. 2 and 4 we have, then we will get 4. And for this one we need 8, right? Or energy lost. Let's suppose we have the array like this. Okay, so we know that here we found that our task is 1 2, so minimum energy we need is 2. So after completing this, right, how much energy we need? 2 minus 1. 2 minus 2 minus 1 is 1. Then another pair we have is 2 and 4, right? So this is task B. So to complete the task B, we need at least minimum 4 energy, right? So left over is 4 minus 2 is 2. Then we call the task 3, where we have energies 4 and 8, right? as you can see here. So we need at least 8 energy, and for that 8 minus 4 is 4, correct? So what exactly is here? So can we say that if I want to make the order, right? So wrong order supposed to A, B and C. This is the wrong order, guys, right? This is wrong order, because we know that to complete this energy we need like this, right? But if I'll start the task itself by A, then B and then C, means what? To complete the task A, we need how much energy? 1, right? Sorry, 2, right? But this is not the correct way. So start with the energy 8, right? So when you start with the energy 8, right? After task, after this task, right? How much energy we need, right? So we can say, okay, we have energy 8, right? And after the task, how much energy we need is 1, is 7. We'll say 7. Then we'll go for the task B, right? We have energy is 7, right? How much energy we need here, right? 2. So we'll say 2. How much it will come is 5, right? Now for we'll go for task C. We'll say, okay, how much energy here we need, right? So we'll say, okay, leftover is, so to complete this task, right, we need at least how much energy is 8, right? But energy we leftover is 5. So we only have 5 here, right? We only have 5 energy. So here it will fail. That is why we say it is a wrong order. We should not use like this. So what we will do, we'll say, okay, now try with 11. Okay, so let's say, we'll say, okay, here we'll write, so here we'll write 11. 11 minus 1 is 10. Then we'll say, okay, 10 minus 0 is 5. 10 minus 2 is 8, right? Now we'll say, okay, 8 minus 4 is how much? Is 4, right? The leftover is 4 we have. And this time we have completed all these tasks. Understand? So better order should be what? It should be C, B and A. This is a big requirement, right, guys? So we understand first the requirement that this should be the order. So what we will do, we better will start with the C itself, right? Where we found that, okay, we have, if we have the energy 8, right? Let's go back again, okay? So we know that to finish this, right, how much energy we need is 8. So we'll say, okay, let me tell you, okay, here. So let's suppose we'll start with the 8 minus 8 minus how much is 4. We are going 8 to 4, right? Yeah. So here we leftover is 4. Then we need to complete the task B is 4, right? So we'll say, okay. So leftover is 4 minus 2. How much will be remaining? Will remaining 2. And to complete this task, how much we need is 2. So we'll say 2 minus 1 is 1. Still we leftover is 1. It means this is the huge difference from where you are starting the correct energy, like where you choose the right task. So you are very independent. You can use any of these tasks in any order, right? So the whole problem is, if you start with ABC, right, you are choosing 11, right, as a value. But because we have seen that, right? Let's suppose if we will choose the right order, right, like this, we have choose C, B, then A, then we need is 8. So when we use the wrong order, we need 11 energy. When we use the right what do you call, right directions, right, then we need 8. So this is the whole problem we have, right? So some tasks are dangerous, they require a very high energy to start, right? But we should finish those early, right? So it becomes good for the like anyone who has a less energy, right? So which task is most dangerous? The task which having minimum minus actual, right? So very first we measure the task minimum minus a. So minimum means minimum a for actual. So if minimum minus actual, if gives the large value, okay, large value means have high entry, right? High entry but small loss, correct, afterward. So those tasks should go first, okay, that we have already seen here, guys, right? So that's what we have. So let's go to see the code. So what we need to do is, the very first thing is we should sort this, okay. So do the sorting first here. So array dot sort will do a and b, two tasks we will pass, and we'll say okay, b minus 1 minus b 0 will do like this. B at 1 minus b at 0 means the minimum minus actual, minimum minus actual we will do, and we'll sort this, okay. Then we'll take the energy and the current energy, right? These two things we will take, and over the task we'll find the actual and minimum. Once we will get the actual minimum, then we'll check if the current energy is less than the minimum energy, right? So because we need to update our current energy all the times, okay. So very first we find the initial energy. We'll find how minimum minus current, you will get the initial energy to complete this, right? We'll check if the current energy is equal to minimum, will apply, because minimum energy, current energy is less than minimum, so we'll update like this. Otherwise you just do current energy minus the actual one that we need for the completing the task, not the minimum, right? Then we'll return finally the initial energy. This is what we have done till now. So we'll work on that, okay. Okay, so let me write down the code so you'll understand. Okay, so let's suppose that we sort this array. How did we sort this array? We use the sort the array by minimum minus actual, okay. So if you sort this with the minimum and actual, so every task, like let's suppose task a, we have this one we will find, and for b task we will find like this. So two things we will find. So minimum minus a and minimum minus a means actual, minimum minus actual, minimum minus actual will do, right? And then we'll sort it, right? Then we know that we have some task we have, right? And minimum minus actual we have to find, like these two things we have to find. The very first, let's suppose the task we have is 1 and 2, right? So if 1 and 2 we have, so how we'll find means 2 minus 1, basically 1. Then we have 2 and 4, let's suppose. So we'll get 4 minus 2 is 2, and then we have 4 and 8, let's suppose, right? This was we have given. So 8 minus 4 is 4, right? Like this. So we'll get like this. So what is the sorted order? So after this task, what is the sorted order? So we'll say, okay, the sorted order is, let's suppose, called 4, 8, then we have 2 and 4, then we have 1 and so this will be the sorted. So this was given like A, B and C, but now it become the order C, B and A. So this is the order we have now, correct? So we'll take two things, initial energy and current energy, okay. So two variables will take from the 0 0, right? So initial energy is a total energy, right? uh, we had to arrange, or you can say start with the, right? Then the current energy will say the current energy is the remaining energy, we can say that, right, the leftover. So let's go with each task now, right, one by one. We'll go with the very first task, C. So from C we'll get this one, actual is at 4 and minimum is 8, right? So we'll get here 4 and here we'll get 8, right? Now we'll check, okay, current energy is what? Current is 0. This is your 0, and the minimum is how much? Is 8 we need. So we'll go here or not? Yeah. So current energy is current energy is less than the minimum energy. That is correct. So what you need to do is find the uh, find the what we need. We need to find So let's suppose minimum is 8 and the current energy is 0, we can say. Okay, so minimum energy will get updated here. So initial energy we need is 8, it become 8. Will the initial from this value, now it from 0 to it become 8, right? So we'll say 8. Now we'll check, okay, current energy. So current energy is initially 8 we have, right? So current energy become what? Minimum. So we'll say, okay, so minimum we need is how much it was? It was, we had 8, right, initially. So we'll say, okay, it is the same value. So current energy and minimum energy both now become is, then we'll come to this value. What is the actual we have? So actual is 4. So just we said, okay, 8 minus 4 is 4. We will get 4. We'll repeat. So here we'll got actual energy is 4. Now we'll repeat the same thing for this, right? Similarly, when you will come here, you will get how much? So 4 minus 2 is 2. Then you will come for the task, this one. You will say, okay, the leftover energy is 2 and required is 1. You will get 1, right? Like this, the leftover is 1. And you will return finally the initial energy. What was the initial energy? You have already updated, right? You will return it. The minimum value that we have, we will do this thing again, and we will apply this value, right? So basically, uh, at the last, right, after the third iterations, right, we'll say that, okay, the current energy is 2 minus 1 we have done time, and the finally we'll know that initial energy is 8, right? So our answer become initial energy 8, and we'll return this, right? This is what we have seen, guys, right? That's all I have in this video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box. And thank you so much for uh, watching and supporting ExpertFunda. Keep liking, subscribing this video. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment. If you are struggling with DSA preparation, you can join my online classes, right? And that's all I have in this. Thank you so much.